Good morning, my Abba Arbak. Here's the plan. It is the day on which they thought they would finish all the walls in the house, minus the front wall of the living room. We will see if they hit that target. The wall around the corner. How are they going to get on with that massive tree stump that's still there and building around it? The swimming pool. How close are we to finishing the plastering on the walls? Are they going to be doing anything else today? I don't know. And today we should be finalising the contract for our air conditioning supplier. If that is done, I'll spend a little bit of time walking you through the kind of things we were looking for in that deal and how we've ended up with numbers of units, the manufacturer and so on. That's the plan. What could possibly go wrong? Today's the day. They thought they might finish all of the walls in the house except for this front living room wall. I'm not sure. I think that's quite a challenge. They still have the master bedroom. The bedroom over on the right-hand side. The dirty kitchen. The gym. There's a lot still to do. I don't know, we'll see. But if they don't do it, I'm completely okay with that. It's not a race. Let's get it done right. But it was their target. Let's see what happens. And right now, we have a site visit from the probable air conditioning suppliers. And they're here with the builder. And this is, in theory, the last visit before we sign. They just wanted to make sure that the positioning of the units as they disappear doesn't interfere with the plans for decoration, cabinetry, so on. So hopefully by the end of this visit, in another 20 minutes or so, we'll be able to confirm. Well, upstairs, the electrician plus new electrician's mate Ariel I've switched up here to get on with some conduit installation, chipping out, addition of conduit and so on, which I assume means that mostly downstairs they're done. Master bedroom, Jeffrey and Richard have been tasked with getting this room done, and so they got a lot on their plate to get this finished today. This will be quite a big door out onto the balcony, and I think there's absolutely a window over here somewhere. So they haven't got to fill in the walls entirely, but it's still a lot to do. The Marvin and Marvin double act are trying to get the master bathroom and walk-in closet completed. Still a fair bit to do in this room. I think they'll get this dividing wall done, and they may get the exterior wall of the bathroom done as well. Front bedroom in the middle. The room that JR's told me for 3 days is finished is not quite finished. The only thing though that I think remains is the top tie beam that you can't see. It's on the far wall of the bathroom and the walk-in closet, but everything else in this room is done. Centre bedroom at the back. Everything done. Back of the house, north side, so on the right as you look at the house from in front. Everything is done. There is one question that I will need to check, but it's this dividing wall between the bathroom and the walk-in closet. I don't know if there is a plan to take that higher, or if above that there's a window or something else. So that is the only thing remaining to be confirmed. Front bedroom, again on the north side, so again on the right hand side as you look at the house from the front. This is another room that's quite a challenge for them to get finished today. Still a fair bit to do on this dividing wall between the bathroom and the main bedroom. We're not putting a walk-in closet here, which was in the original plan. There will just be wardrobes, cabinets, but there's still quite a lot to do here and across this wall and all up front. So that is one of the biggest challenges if they're going to finish all the walls today. And in terms of walls, still clearly work to be done here at the dirty kitchen, both getting up to height just here and on the external wall. And take your dizzy pills, here we go. The gym and spa area. There may be less than it appears here, but there is, I think, some addition to this wall required. They do need to put in, I think they called it a header, which is basically 1 or 2 levels of concrete hollow block at the top of what will be these quite tall windows, and the same over there. And in keeping with the rest of the house, the tops of these windows will be at 2.4 meters. At the perimeter wall, concrete being mixed. Dizzy pills required again. They will, I imagine, be taking this part of the wall higher. They will, I think, be trying to do more with this tree stump. And then also, I think, a little bit more work going across this area, digging out the trench. Air conditioning. I thought I'd just run through a list of the things that we considered while we were coming to a decision on a supplier. I'm sure they are pretty much the same things that you would consider if you were doing this. But I'll tell you my list anyway, just to see if that might prompt some thoughts from you about something I've missed, about something that isn't important. So do let me know in the comments. Did I miss something that you think, oh, you dummy, why didn't you think of that? First thing on the list, price and payment. If you're fortunate enough to have unlimited money, that isn't an issue for you, but it was for us. So we had to feel like we were getting value for money, and that included allowing for payments that didn't hit us all up front, that did allow for a grace period at the end of the installation, so that we haven't paid everything at that point, although we will have paid most of it. And then if there's a problem, obviously that payment gets held back until such time as it's resolved. Second one, responsiveness. In my working life, responsiveness was always a huge factor. Whether it was my own company being responsive to questions from customers, or whether it was me being responsive to somebody in my team, it makes such a difference. Silence is a terrible thing, particularly as in my working life when we're on a different side of the world to head office and to where quite a number of our manufacturing facilities were. Not getting any answer is dreadful. If you get an answer that says, not sure, checking, that's fine, as long as you believe it. But silence is a killer, and responsiveness is so important to me. I want to know that if we do have an issue with the aircon units, that the supplier will respond quickly and efficiently. And that is one of the keys to why we chose the supplier that we did. We have actually used them before. We've used them in the small house that we have not far from here, only for a single unit. But when we have had issues, and we did replace that aircon recently, they have been very, very responsive. There was another company who, if anything, were even more responsive. They're incredibly fast. We did start with a list of 10. So the company we've chosen kind of ended up number 2 on the responsiveness list, which is a good place to be. A couple of things about the units themselves. We didn't want any floor standing units. I just think they're unattractive and take up space that we want for other things. So that was a feature, and that actually ruled out 1 or 2 companies who insisted that they had to have floor standing units to give the horsepower that they believed we needed, but we just didn't want them. So maybe that's hurt us, with power in some areas? I don't think so. I think we will have plenty of power. And features of the units. You look at, until you're blue in the face, at the blurb that all the manufacturers give you, and in the end, many of the features are quite similar. There was a key one for us, which was the ability for the units to be smart. The very long-term objective for this house is to have Jarvis from Iron Man. A smart house that isn't just responsive to voice commands, to an Amazon device or a Google device or any other device. It's actually smart. It knows when to do things without being told. So we needed something, we needed a brand and a unit that we could integrate into that kind of a system. We've ended up with Samsung. And the Samsung models, the ones that we've chosen, have something called SmartThings, which is an app that you can use to set up all sorts of different integrations. It's not the final solution for us. The final solution for us is to use a product called Home Assistant, which is a platform that allows you to integrate all sorts of different things. And ultimately, of course, it's not Jarvis, it's not AI, but you can kind of fake it a little bit and make it do things that make it seem a little bit like Iron Man's Jarvis. So that was very important to us, and that in the end made us go for, one of the reasons we went for the higher specification Samsung units. They're called the Wind-Free units, or Wind-Free Plus, I can't remember. That Samsung app does integrate very well into the Home Assistant platform that I plan to put into place eventually. Even without that platform, Samsung SmartThings as an app is good enough to begin with at controlling those air conditioners. All the other features you see, they do seem to be kind of similar. They all claim to have slightly different things. These particular units have filters, I think most do these days. They claim to be energy efficient, I think most do. They claim to be quiet, I think most do. So most of the features I kind of discounted because everybody has similar claims. Another key one for me was I wanted a fixed price contract. Now, all the contracts we were initially sent had exclusions. So they give you a price and then say, okay, that doesn't include, for example, copper pipe if you need more than 10 feet per unit. This combines into another requirement that we had, that all of the external units should be basically as unseen as possible. So all of them are going to be on the north side of the house, which is the side that is quite close, very close to the neighbour's wall, about 3 meters away. And it's the side that will get the least number of people looking at it. That meant the piping requirements were longer. So after the initial quotes came through, I basically said to the remaining, I think by that point it was 4 or 5 possible suppliers. I'd already discounted some because they weren't responsive or their price was crazy or something else. But I said, okay, now I want a totally fixed price, no exclusions. So whatever we sign, that's what I'm paying. And of course, that comes at a cost. They have to factor in a little bit of safety room on their pricing. But I was very relieved I did it, because when I got a couple of responses back, the increase in cost for that fixed price requirement was quite scary. The cost of copper piping here is not cheap. So I got peace of mind, but at a cost. In the end, with the supplier that we're going with, that cost wasn't much. And I'm kind of grateful for that. We wanted to know that we had enough. Now, we've ended up, which might seem a bit ridiculous, but we've ended up with 13 air conditioning units. Now that means we've got one unit in almost every room in the house. There are a couple of exceptions. In the upstairs bedrooms, there is, apart from in the master suite, there is only one unit covering the bedroom, the bathroom and the walk-in closet. There's, in the master bedroom, we've got an additional small unit in the walk-in closet and bathroom area. But we wanted to be sure we'd got enough. Now, these will be combined in almost every case with ceiling fans. And ceiling fans will always be our first option to get some cooling going, just through less energy consumption. There is one room that we're still a little tiny bit uncertain on, and that's the living room, because it is open up to the stairs, and there was some consideration. In fact, we did get a quote at one point from our end supplier, which included a secondary unit actually upstairs in the hallway to try and assist with the living room downstairs. In the end, I've said no to that on the basis that it was going to cost me quite a bit more money, and it didn't make so much sense to me to have a unit upstairs trying to help with a room downstairs. It just felt like a little bit of a waste, so we've not gone with that option. Company reputation kind of talks about this a little bit, but basically it's hard here to get a fix on the reputation of air conditioning suppliers. They tend to be relatively small companies, and so asking to go and knock on doors of companies or houses that they've supplied previously is less of an option. Ultimately, we were able to get, if you like, a recommendation from the builder himself. That company came in second overall in the end. They were the one that were incredibly responsive. But the company that we're going with, as I said, we have seen them in action, and so that felt like a slightly less important issue for us. So in the end, it's taken us weeks and weeks and weeks, but we have a conclusion. We're going with a company called eSummerTech. They will start work on Monday. They will have 4 guys coming in initially to get all the piping done, and then they'll take a break once everything else is kind of ready. They won't install the units themselves until obviously much nearer the end of the process, when a lot of the decoration has been done. We've worked out positions for all of the units. We've made sure with the builder, that was this morning's meeting, that doesn't interfere with any of his interior design plans. I think we're good to go. Now tell me, what have I missed? Have I missed something crucial? I'm sure I have. These were just things that occurred to us along the way, but there are bound to be issues that might be important to you that I just haven't mentioned. There might be issues that I've mentioned that are not important to you. Anyway, this is just our guide to maybe prompt you to think about certain things if you have to go down this route yourself. So that's where we are. Air conditioning, agreed. Next stop, solar. Maya pagkapanapon. Good afternoon. It's just after 4 o'clock. The bell has gone. It's Saturday, so it's the slightly earlier finish. And here we are at the wall, where there is something I did not expect. So at this point, they have built up the wall higher. Now we're going to head over to the corner and see what's been going on over there. The tree stump remains, and they're basically building into it, through it. They've put in a great big metal pole, which I don't know if that serves as stabilization of some sort, but the tree trunk is going to stay by the look of it. I don't know if they'll try and chip out any more in the corner. I can't really see the point of that. I did not see that coming. Any thoughts? Here at the swimming pool, we have a smooth wall for part of the island in the center. Roughly a third. So definitely approaching the end of the plastering process, the waterproofing and plastering process for the island. Probably another day or two to get that done. Downstairs at the house, they did not complete all of the partition walls. I thought it was going to be a challenge. So they have made a little bit more progress here in the dirty kitchen, but still the tie beam over on the outside wall to the left has not yet been poured, and they have yet to finish this wall. I think that might be a story that is repeated over the next minute or so. It's repeated here at the gym. I don't think there was any more work on hollow blocks done here. In the master bedroom, yeah, not done here either. So the top above the windows and doors on this front facing wall, not done yet. In the master bathroom and walk-in closet, well, the walk-in closet is done except for concreting in the tie beam up there. The bathroom itself, just that little tiny bit at the top, is all that remains. At the back of the house, the center bedroom, all done, complete. Center bedroom at the front, all done, I think. The only possible thing that is not done is on the wall at the back of this bathroom. There is a form on there. I can't tell whether that concrete has been formed, but basically room done. At the back of the house, the room on the north side, so the right side if you were standing in front of the house and looking at it, the bedroom is all done. They did add a tiny bit more here where the walk-in closet meets the bathroom. So I have to say we're not quite there in this area. And lastly, at the front of the house, again on the north side, so again on the right side as you look at the house, not done yet. Quite a lot actually still to do. That wall not yet up to height for the bathroom. The wall where the windows will be, and all of the front still to be done. So quite a lot more effort required in here. There we go then, the end of day 119. Again, there was no kind of midday walk around. It wasn't laziness this time, but when I looked at what we'd shot for the me meandering on about air conditioning, we were already up at about almost 19 minutes. I didn't want to get out of control with the time for this video. So that's it. We're done for the day. We're done for the week. Day 119 in the bag. And for the first time I can remember, a target that they told me about in terms of completing something has not been met. Every other time, with every target, they come in ahead of what they told me. I thought it was a challenge first thing this morning, and yeah, it was a challenge too far. I just said a moment ago, more effort needed in one of the rooms. It's not effort, of course the effort is there each and every day. It's just more time needed. But we're not far away. Soon, they will be starting to think about roofing and plastering. Anyway, that's to come. See you next week.